Hello everybody, hope you're all doing well, and in this video I'm talking about what's happened to Ferrari's starts, as well as Red Bull responding to a double penalty. So let's start with Ferrari. Now in 2026, they've gone for a smaller turbo, and that's given them an advantage at the starts. I mean, with the power units the way they are this year, it's harder to spin up the turbo, but having a smaller one makes it easier to spin up, and well, Ferrari have been getting excellent launches off the line as a result. I mean, even with that pre-start sequence that was introduced at the start of the season at the Australian Grand Prix, Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton gained a total of 7 places at the start, and during the Chinese Grand Prix weekend in the sprint, Leclerc and Hamilton moved up 3 places, and in the Grand Prix they moved up 4 places. But since Formula 1 returned from its 5-week gap in April, Ferrari starts have not been as strong. I mean, you look at the Canadian Grand Prix weekend in the sprint, Leclerc and Hamilton only gained a total of 1 place at the start, and then in the Grand Prix it was only 2 places. So what's going on? Well, it's not because Ferrari is doing a worse job than it did earlier in the year, but it's more of the consequences of others getting their acts together. Then when you look at Mercedes, they really improved at the Canadian Grand Prix. For example, while they were locking out front rows earlier this year, they were not good at starts, and them dropping back added more to Ferrari's gains. But there's been a big change at Mercedes, and we saw at the Canadian Grand Prix George Russell and Kimi Antonelli get much better starts and not lose position, with them leading for the first time in turn 1 in the sprint and only losing out to Lando Norris in the McLaren, who was on intermediate tyres at the start of the Grand Prix. So what's going on with Mercedes? Well, the race say the improvements from Mercedes targeted 2 key areas. The first was better judging grip levels at the start through improved software, with the team having been caught out by this aspect in Miami in particular. The second area was helping Antonelli in particular have better feel with his clutch paddle, having been a bit too optimistic with his release at times earlier in the year. So for Montreal, he refined the finger holes that are used at the start, appearing to adjust the depth and location of the channel. Now make sure to subscribe so you don't miss my Formula 1 content and are kept up to date with F1 news. I'm close now to 52,000 subscribers, and all your support means so much to me. Thank you so much for it. Now going into Monaco, the start is going to be very crucial. As we know, it's really hard to overtake around that circuit, so having a really good start could be beneficial. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. But let's move on to Red Bull, and in Montreal, Hadjar recorded his best finish of 2026 with him finishing in 5th place. However, the race was not smooth for Hadjar, with him being hit with a 10-second penalty for his very borderline defence against Charles Leclerc, and Hadjar also received a stop and go penalty for not slowing down sufficiently under yellow flags. Now the good news for Hadjar is that he was so far ahead of the rest of the field that his penalties did not affect his final position in the Grand Prix, and now Red Bull team boss Lauren Mekies has responded to Hadjar's race, praising his speed but also feeling the penalties were a bit much, with Mekies saying, as quoted by Crash.net, "I think he's acted a very strong weekend. In fairness to him, he did a very strong first 3 races. He had a difficult weekend in Miami. I think this weekend he was on the right window straight away. I think speed was not the issue. The 1-minute penalty is a bit too much. I think he got probably close to 1-minute penalty, but in terms of underlying speed, he was at the right level." So yeah, despite the penalties for Hadjar, he was really impressive in Canada, and it's going to be interesting to see if he can continue this speed going forward across the rest of the season. But that's going to be the video from me. Thank you ever so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for more videos, and until the next one, take care. Bye.